Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching us live on Facebook, we do appreciate that. And if you are watching us somewhere else, we do upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. There are audio and video versions to check out there. They are free. Again, appreciate you joining us this morning. Getting into your traffic. I-12 is flowing this morning. Some delays on those on-ramps getting on I-12, however, at 447 Jubin Road and Range Avenue, so please keep that in mind. Looking at some minor delays at 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190. Minor delays at 190 and Jubin as well, but otherwise a pretty beautiful morning. Traffic is flowing, not too bad on 64 heading into Central as well. It's currently 78 degrees. 92 degrees is your high today. Going to get up to about 95, 96 with that heat index. Looking at 76 degrees as your overnight low. Now, it is, as mentioned, a beautiful morning. The sun is shining. Looking at a 40% chance of rain this afternoon. Would recommend, if you haven't left the house yet, please grab that umbrella on your way out. Getting into these mitigation efforts real quick. Want to talk about them real quick before we get into a couple little things today. Wear a mask in public. It is a mandate. Wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or more. 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others. Control your cough or sneezing with preferably your elbow or a tissue. Don't touch your face, my favorite one. 25 or less to a gathering, preferably less. And stay home if you're sick. And utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. Try to stay home and work as well. We're going to start off today with an unfortunate piece of news. Mr. Arthur Perkins passed away. That was confirmed yesterday. The listed cause of death was kidney failure. He had recently been diagnosed with COVID-19. However, that the family said he had been diagnosed, but the listed cause of death was kidney failure. Mr. Perkins lived a very full life. He was a pillar of the Livingston Parish community and a very big pillar of the Denham Springs community. Early in life, he joined the ROTC program at Southern University, ended up staying in the Army for several years, in the National Guard for almost 20. Graduated or retired, I guess you can say, from the Armed Services as a lieutenant colonel. He served in a variety of roles here in the community, including 60 plus years of service, 1957 to 1998 in our education system here. So a huge breadth of experience in the Livingston Parish public school system. He became the principal of Albany High in 1970 after that school was integrated. He also served 36 years on the Denham Springs Council, and recently, since he did serve in an interim position on the council in 2017, he retired from the council in 2014. Recently, in his free time, he spent a lot of time educating youth, having camps at both Roberts United Methodist Church in Denham Springs as well as the L.M. Lockhart Center over there on Martin Luther King Drive, trying to get in touch with the youth, trying to show them what a life of service can lead to. He was a great man. He will be missed. He died at 85. So thank you, Mr. Perkins. Thank you, Mr. Perkins, for your service here to Livingston Parish. Getting into that discussion about schools and what happened with Mr. Joe Murphy yesterday, we did get a chance to sit down with him and speak to him for 52 minutes. It was quite a long time. We had a lot to talk about. Do recommend that you go check out that full podcast. It is at www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. We do have an audio and video version up. It's also on our Facebook page. You can go check it out. Some of the high points of that very long interview. One of the things that I know has been asked very often is, will virtual options be available for parents? The answer is very emphatically yes. So how school begins is going to depend on what phase the state is in. Now, we'll talk a little bit more, but the governor did not speak yesterday. He will speak today at 2:30. So we'll talk about that in a second. If the state is in phase 1, then it is all distance learning. Phase 2 is a hybrid, which means that children will be divided into A and B days, and this would be grades 3 through 12. Those grades would then attend school, 2 days a week, with 2 days off and Fridays off. And that Friday will be used for cleaning days. you need to get in touch with your school. That is very, very, very important. We're going to get back to that in just a second. And then, of course, in phase 3, kids are going to be required to be on campus. Now, if for whatever reason, and this was stated emphatically by Superintendent Joe Murphy, if for whatever reason you are concerned about your child's health, your home health, perhaps you have somebody at home that is a high risk, or maybe the child themselves is a high risk, virtual school is going to be available for every student. And that is going to last for probably the whole year. Now, one of the caveats to virtual schooling is that you will have to commit to an entire grading period. For grades under grade 9, so high school, those not in high school, that would be a 9-week grading period. You must stay with virtual school if you're going to do it with a 9-week grading period. You can't get 4 weeks into the grading period and say, you know what, I want to send my kid to school. You have to stay with that 9 weeks. For high schoolers, it has to be the whole semester. So if you're going to do virtual at-home school with those high schoolers, it has to be for the full semester. It will be offered for the entire year. So please keep an eye on that. But that, I know a lot of people have asked that option is going to be open. What is also going to be open is the school has technology available, including computers and tablets, as well as connectivity devices for internet connectivity. But you must fill out a form, you take responsibility for it. So you're going to have to pay the school system back if there is a problem. But there are ways for you to get technologically connected from home. The big thing is starting this Friday, July 24th. Now, you got to be patient with these schools. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot of work to be done. But starting this Friday, July 24th, you can start calling your school. Every school is going to have to treat this a little differently, just because of the ability of the faculty, the amount of technology available. And of course, some schools are K through 8, some schools are K through 5. Every school is going to be treating this a little different. It is very important. I dare say, if you are a parent or a guardian, it is vital that you call your school. Figure out whether or not your child is an A or B student, if you do intend to send them to school, and figure out, because right now the school system is preparing to start in phase 2. That would be that the state is in phase 2. We'll find out more about that this afternoon. Again, we'll talk more about the governor speaking in just a minute. But please, it is vital that you get in touch with your school beginning this Friday, July 24th. It's probably going to take them a while to get to you, so you have to be patient. A lot of schools are going to be treating this differently. They may say, they may get back on the phone with you and say, we need you to come to school on X date because your child's last name is DAV or something like that. Every school, again, is going to be treating this differently. It is important to keep in touch with your school either via Facebook or on their website, or just continue to call until you get an answer. But a lot of this is going to be flowing through schools. Now, there are going to be 2 documents coming out today. One kind of explaining virtual school, the other explaining technology that is available. Of course, that technology is part of the $4.4 million that came through the CARES Act. It flowed through the state into the schools. The other deal, there are a couple of packages right now, 4 schools in both the House and the Senate. Not sure if any of them are going to make it out. There is the SMART Act in the Senate from Dr. Bill Cassidy, or Senator Dr. Bill Cassidy, looking to put $1.8 million in the coffers of each school system around the country. And that's going to be a tough sell. That is expensive, but it is going to help. According to Superintendent Joe Murphy, those funds would be used to try to help with even more or greater connectivity, which would be a partnership between a lot of different entities. One of the things that Superintendent Joe Murphy discussed with us yesterday was there's a lot of partnerships in the works. They're even looking at a partnership with the parish because right now the state and the Federal Communications Charter, or FCC, are looking to expand rural broadband. So there's a lot of connectivity issues. This is a Louisiana problem. The Louisiana legislature addressed this as well, and the governor has been behind this. They are going to try to spread connectivity as far and wide as they can. And they're going to be, again, the school system is going to be looking to partner with specific entities to try to at least be part of that solution. Now, last but certainly not least, Food will be available whether your child goes to school or whether they don't. They are preparing to feed every kid a lunch. Now, you need again to get in contact with your schools to find out when it would be available for you to drive through and pick up that food. Every child will be fed the same lunch every day, whether they're at school or whether you're driving through to pick up the food. So again, please remember, one of the most important pieces of that podcast outside of virtual school will be available for any student is get in touch with your school. Starting this Friday, July 24th, please start trying to get in touch with your school. Be on the lookout for their websites and updates on their websites, and be on the lookout for updates to their Facebook pages. And if you can't follow those, give them a call, and until you get somebody on the phone that can answer your questions, because every school is going to be doing this a little bit differently. And of course, if you see information coming out on their Facebook pages, spread it to as many parents as you can, because this is going to be a work in progress. And that was something that Superintendent Joe Murphy pushed a lot, is that a lot of these things are going to be a work in progress. You build a plan, then you start, and you're like, we didn't think about that. We didn't know about that. Those kinds of things come up, and you rise to the occasion. And he did say that the schools are ready. They are ready to learn. They are ready to do better at this. So they are going to keep moving. Of course, the other thing is masks are going to be required on campus, and there will be temperature checks. The mask will be required in situations where individuals cannot socially distance for 6 feet or more. So a lot of classroom settings, and pardon the lag there. We got a little slowed up a little bit. Slowed up. There we go. So masks are going to be required on campus. Now, is your child going to be in trouble for not having a mask? Not necessarily. Of course, the school system knows that a lot of kids are going to be calling their parents looking, I left my mask at home. Can you bring it to me? There are going to be some kids that arrive without a mask, and the parents were never really pushing masks at home. According to Superintendent Joe Murphy, they are going to do everything they can to mediate those situations, try to work through them in an easier way. Working with the parents, working with the student to try to get a mask for them. So those are kind of the high points. Really recommend you check it out. I know it's 52 minutes. It is long, but there's a lot of information in there. I still recommend you go check out those 2 new forms, which Mr. David Gray is going to pick up today and write up about virtual school. There's also a 17-page document, which we recommend you read. You can find it at lpsb.org. Again, that is lpsb.org. And you can find, it's 17 pages. It's quite a comprehensive document. There's a lot going on there. And of course, this is all going to meld as we move towards that August 7th start date, but school is going to start on time. So one last time, if there's anything I can drive home, it's these 2 points. Virtual school is going to be available for those who desire it. Please get in contact with your school, because even if you choose to do virtual school, you have to let your school know. They have to prepare for that. So again, virtual school will be available for any of those families that desire it. Please get in touch with your school. Start trying this Friday, July 24th. Getting into your coronavirus statistics real quick, 94,892 cases statewide, 3,462 deaths, 1,102,924 tests. So again, Louisiana continues to remain one of the top states in per capita testing. 53,288 have recovered. That's a great number. 1,508 are currently hospitalized on 192 ventilators. That number continues to rise. In Livingston Parish, you're looking at 1,990 cases, 43 deaths on 19,366 tests. Now, we brought it up earlier. We were really hoping before the podcast yesterday with Superintendent Joe Murphy that the governor was going to have an announcement. He has moved that to today. It will be at 2:30. We don't know what to expect. We do know that this was, of course, shuffled from Monday to Tuesday. But it is a discussion about moving phases. Of course, the deadline for this phase 2 hold, which was issued at the end of June, is this Friday. So some kind of announcement and some kind of proclamation is forthcoming. We are unsure. We don't know if we're going to go forward, backward, or stay in place. But of course, please remember, we are roughly 2 weeks away from this, or 2.5 weeks away from the start of school. What phase the state is in, it determines a lot on how school is going to work. Again, phase 1 is all distance learning. Phase 2 is the hybrid, which is A, B days and a day off. And then phase 3 is everyone goes to school unless you have requested virtual schooling. So please keep those things in mind. And please keep an eye on our Facebook page. We will share that live video this afternoon, and we will have a story forthcoming after that. So the governor does speak at 2:30. Now, the governor, John Bel Edwards, and Attorney General Jeff Landry continue their back and forth over the mask mandate. Last week, the governor shot back at Attorney General Jeff Landry with a letter of his own after he came out with an opinion that the mask mandate is overstretching his legal authority. And the governor said that it was not during a public health emergency and listed several reasons. The Attorney General has shot back and says that he stands by his opinion, that he is still beyond his legal authority even during a public health emergency to declare masks required. So again, that back and forth continues. Not really sure where it's going to end up at this point. Please remember that about a week ago today, actually it was a week ago today, Vice President Mike Pence, as well as several members of the federal task force on the coronavirus, visited Louisiana and spoke at LSU and said that masks are highly recommended, something that should be worn in public. Looking at some more mobile testing sites here in Livingston Parish, beginning today, actually, the 21st. They will be open from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., according to Ms. Brandy Janes at the Livingston Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness. They will be in Albany today, the 21st, and tomorrow, the 22nd. They will be in Springfield next Monday and Tuesday, which is the 27th and the 28th. And they will be in French Settlement next Wednesday, the 29th. Please check our website, www.livingstonparishnews.com/coronavirus for the exact locations of where they'll be. Again, they are open from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Albany today and tomorrow. Springfield 27th and 28th, which is next Monday and Tuesday. French Settlement next Wednesday, the 29th. Ochsner took it upon themselves to mail out roughly 100,000 masks to both pediatric and adult patients, trying to get people to mask up, remind them that it is an important thing to do. So please remember, even the large hospitals are spending their own money trying to get people to mask up, trying to curb this new rise. Excuse me. Ooh, talking too much this morning. Trying to curb this new rise in cases, and especially this new rise in hospitalizations, which is affecting several areas of the state. Most importantly, Lafayette and Lake Charles are the current biggest rises going on. Getting back into these coronavirus statistics real quick, 94,892 cases, 3,462 deaths on 1,102,924 tests. Really great number. Again, Louisiana remains one of the top places per capita for testing in the country. 53,288 have recovered on 1,508 hospitalizations, 192 ventilators. In Livingston Parish, 1,990 cases, 43 deaths on 19,366 deaths. Those mitigation efforts, again, real quick. Wear a mask in public. It is a mandate. Wash your hands for 20 seconds or more. 6 feet or more of distance between yourself and others in public. Control your cough and your sneezing, preferably with your elbow or a tissue. Don't touch your face, my favorite one. 25 or less to a gathering, and stay home if you're sick, and utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor. I-12 is flowing this morning, not too bad. You have on-ramp delays at Range, Jubin, and 447. Excuse me, I'm lagging out again. Let's see, there we go. And minor delays, 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190. 64 is flowing into Central. One last time, 78 degrees is your current temperature. Actually, it's gotten up to 79. 92 degrees your high, so it's going to be about 95 today with that heat index. 76 your overnight low. It's a beautiful morning. You are looking at a 40% chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Please remember to bring an umbrella. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. Want to remind you one more time, if you are interested in that school information, please check out that podcast, www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. I'll also put a link to it in the comments after I process the show. Please, please, please check that out. It is free. It's long, I know, but there's a lot of good information there. Also recommend you check out that literature that the schools have been releasing, LPSB Please remember the news is on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays at $7 a month to get it in your mailbox. And please remember, we are also online, as mentioned. We have a coronavirus page, which is free, a podcast page, which is free, and a breaking news page, which is free as well. That gives you state and national news. We hope you have a great day. Please remember the governor does speak at 2:30 today. We will share that live video, and a story will come after. And we will see you tomorrow.